This go round, I thought people weren't even as interested in the house for real. But check it out. The realtor has taken to social media to post a whole bunch of info about the new owners, and she took it upon herself to actually say that she would call the police on anyone disclosing certain public information that they're actually allowed to disclose, that being the address of the other house that is owned by the same owners who just bought the Watts house. Now, the realtor has taken to online to divulge a whole bunch of information and disclose a lot of things to speculate about. Ironically, if it weren't for those posts, I wouldn't even be covering this topic because I totally just planned to put on my community page like, hey, the house sold. For definite, confirm. You heard it here at Neek Speaks. Moving on with my life. Moving on with the mass amount of this crime that I have to cover before I finish my Watts playlist. But this case just never stops getting weirder. Alright, I'm gonna let the bot read this because while they're not great to listen to, they are impartial. And I'm gonna throw tons of attitude on this thing. I'm gonna put a stank on it if I read it. So, in order to prevent any emphasis being placed here that wasn't intended, let's turn it over to the robot.
Kaylin, and I came up with a post to address a few rumors. I want to preface this post by saying that the post I made almost 2 weeks ago about the recent purchase of our new home was meant to be seen by friends and family that I felt I could trust with this. I deleted over 100 people on both Instagram and Facebook, blocked others from being able to see the post, and made the post private. My whole profile was already private. It was not intended to be spread around, hence the need for someone I trusted to take screenshots since I removed the ability for them to share my original post. Shame on whoever did that. I trusted you all. We are not naive, and knew that information would get out of the intention of that post was to inform family and friends and to mitigate chaos and to make our statements so that when the news got out, our family and friends could protect us and support us since they would have already known. Whoever took screenshots and spread them around to get attention, you failed as a friend or member of my family. You knew what would happen and you decided getting attention was more important to you. I hope you got what you wanted. With that said, rumors have flown around that I would like to address. Hopefully this time I will be shown the respect I deserve. Doubtful, but a girl can dream.
But seriously though, what is the end game here? Are they like ashamed that they came out with it and this is like their way of pretending for the Rushiks that they weren't culpable and they were just the victims of social media being shared? It does kind of give off that vibe.
1. Yes, we have 2 girls and 1 boy just like Shanann. We did not have control over our birth order. We did not know Shanann before we had babies, and millions of families have 2 girls and 1 boy in that order. Please stop calling us creepy and eerie for something completely out of our control. Our children's birth order had 0 to do with the decision to purchase this home. 2. It is being said that I look like Shanann and I'm trying to be like her and that the decision to buy this house is because I'm obsessed with her and like most of you criticizing me and making such ridiculous assumptions. I did not know her. I am another 32-year-old white girl in a small town in Colorado. We all wear leggings and cute shirts and try and style our hair. I have dressed the way I do for years and still have the same clothes from 10 years ago. TF kind of comment is that? If I dress like her and look like her, so do most other moms I know at my age. Are you obsessed with her too? You saw a picture of me in one outfit and decided I was trying to be like her. 3. We are not the Miller family that Shanann was close to in North Carolina. He still lives out there. We live out here and have no prior association with Watts or Arzusks. 4. I've not been working with her parents for years to buy this home. I've wanted to buy this home for a long time. It is beautiful and perfect for our family. I don't owe anyone a single explanation on why we bought it, but that's basically it, along with wanting to do the right thing by Shanann and her family. I do believe we were meant to be here and I'm so happy we are despite how people have treated us for buying it. I absolutely believe Shanann would be happy about us buying her home and loving it rather than watching it deteriorate and having people fear this place she loved. It has, however, been a pleasure working with them through this process and taking this burden from them. We did not buy this house because it is the Watts house. We have wanted it because it is perfect for our family and our lifestyle and is beautiful and spacious in a lovely neighborhood, and we have every intention of making it a normal home again so that Shannon's parents no longer have to deal with this house. The neighbors have normalcy, so the community doesn't have a silent, dark home reminding them of what happened here. We will absolutely not be turning this into an Airbnb, a tourist attraction, or profit in any way. That has never been a thought that has crossed our minds, and we are so happy that someone who may have had those intentions did not purchase this home. To have that even being said about us as sickening. I will also not be creating a TikTok, documenting our lives here and finding ghosts. Insert eye roll here.
You remember that time that you didn't make a social media post about your move and chaos ensued? Like your friends and family didn't know, and then, chaos. That doesn't make any sense to me. I'm sorry. I'm not buying it.
6. Yes, we took a picture of our kids on the kitchen counter. Shanann had a similar one, which I did not know about. Stop looking into every little thing and trying to put a negative spin on it. It was just a cute picture. 7. My husband is not CW and will never ever hurt us. Do you even hear how illogical and silly it sounds to say that my husband will hurt us like CW, just because we were living in this house? To say there are evil spirits living here that will possess my husband like they did CW. That is sickening. What a vile thought. There are no monsters here. CW made a decision as a human being. Hold him accountable instead of some imaginary monsters you can't even prove exist. You know who does exist, CW, and he is in prison where he belongs. Blame that sorry excuse of a human garbage for what he did and stop assuming my husband will do the same thing because he is living in this house. A house made of drywall and carpet. You should be ashamed of yourselves for even thinking let alone having the audacity to type it out for the world to see. Please seek therapy immediately. 8. Rather than asking me anything, you are either asking other people questions or going off of internet rumors. Ask me. I'm right here. If you're close to me, you have my number. If you are not close to me, you don't need to be asking other people those questions. 9. Many people are obsessed with us moving into this house because they are obsessed with Shanann and her babies. You have to stop. There's absolutely no shame in seeking therapy, and I'm not being sarcastic. There are so many other people making comments. Never knew her. Probably never even passed her in a grocery store. Yet, you are driving around taking pictures of this house. And obsessing over a family whose case was solved years ago. It's time to move on. We care deeply about what happened. We think of them. We think of their family and wish to carry Shannon's torch in this house by filling it with all the love it deserves. However, this is our new home. We are not by any means intending to erase what happened to her, trying to involve ourselves in this case, or minimizing her death. But we are choosing to remember their lives. They are not defined by their deaths. Remember who they were as people and why we identified with her so much, had our hearts broken over them, and the light they brought to the world. What you focus on, the energy you bring in this case and this house, that is how you will feel. If you feel disturbed, the creeps out, or anything negative about this house and us living here, this is absolutely a you problem. We are happy, feel all the love and light here, and hope you can change your mindset at some point. The only monster that lived in this house is states away in a cell. It is not my responsibility to get you to see us living here in a positive light. That is something you actively choose. 10. I did not make my initial post for clout, attention, or 5 minutes of fame. If I wanted that, I could have called 9 News weeks ago. I could have documented the entire purchase process and share it on social media. I could have told everyone I knew instead of just a few close people. I definitely would have made my post public and not have deleted the post and completely deactivated my social media within 9 hours of making the post if I wanted fame. The people who screenshot it and shared it, they wanted the attention. We hope it was worth it. 11. My realtor did make a post that was also shared and spread around. She celebrates all of her wins as she so deserves, and this was no different. She had no ill intentions, handled it beautifully, and asked our permission before posting, and is one of the best people I know. Stop berating her for a post. When people started asking if it was the Watts house, she addressed and answered it honestly. Y'all have got to find jobs or something to avoid picking people apart this way for something you were never involved in and never will be involved in. 12. To the few of you choosing to continue driving around my house taking pictures even though it is now occupied by a family, we see you. Do you honestly go to sleep at night believing you are honoring and respecting Shanann and her family by doing this? You look pathetic and obsessed. Please stop. It's you even got this far. Thanks for reading. Please respect my privacy, my family, and now our home. The Frederick Police Department has been on our side and is watching out for his day and night. If you step foot on my property with intentions to harm us, harass us, know that we know our rights. Show some respect. Lastly, a big, massive loving thank you to the many who have showed you As so much love and support. Thank you to the friends and family who have come over and already created some amazing memories in this house. You've already helped fulfill our intention to put love back in here. Thank you to the neighbors for giving us the warmest welcome and letting us know how happy you are we are here. It's been everything to us. Thank you for not kicking us while we were down. Thanks for being you. We will never forget that. Undo.
The reference constantly to owing the house something. We're going to put love back in this home. Tons of emphasis on giving this home a spirit. Just to wrap it up with the paragraph about how the home is only carpet and sheetrock. If it's only carpet and sheetrock, then why is it a burden? If it's only carpet and sheetrock, how are they being all heroic for the community and for the family and for the neighbors? If it's only carpet and wall and it's actually shelter, so yet again with the privilege, but this whole argument is sort of irreconcilable with itself because it attempts to convey that it doesn't matter that it's the Watts home or that the murders happen there, but yet it matters who buys it or Airbnbs it or puts it on TikTok. Again, where the house seems to have spiritual or semblance in its meaning, yet while also trying to use the argument that the house is nothing and that it has no spirituality or it has no memories, it has no effect over us. So why do we care if it's on TikTok? They went right for it, attacking YouTubers, making themselves victims and heroes. They're gonna fit right in. And that's exactly where this episode came from because I don't like people telling the public what they can talk about, especially when it concerns public records. She's an agent registered with the state, and I could totally show you her address. I'm being more respectful than that because I do have ethics about the way that I want to cover true crime or crime and justice matters on my channel. But I could show you her address. I could show you the address for the other house of the owners because it's all public record. It's right there on the Weld County website. So you can easily take the information that you know and get the information for yourself. However, it makes me ethically feel better, to not honestly, to give the girl more attention, to put her name in the media more. I'm not going to do it. Zero of the reasons for doing so are because of the legality, because it's completely legal for me to do so. It's a public document. I can show you any public document that I want. I don't have to redact anything from it. I'm not handling an open investigation for the police department, okay? But, like I said, I'm choosing to do so for ethical and morality purposes of my own, as well as the removal of any clout that, this was supposed to stir up. He also seems to have the wrong idea about copyright because she posted onto her Facebook trying to get people to copyright claim. You can only copyright claim if you actually are the owner. You can't just do it in the name of. You can if you're, actually a member of a company working for someone, etc. But it doesn't even make sense, as though she's trying to organize like a mass reporting, but that's not even the way that this system works. The system handles copyright claims and like reports as a completely different thing. So a copyright claim is actually different from a copyright strike too. And I've seen a lot of YouTubers manipulate the difference between the two, and they'll go onto their channel and say that they got struck. I'm not even talking about personally who they're attacking. I just mean in general, this whole case and the anti-YouTube thing and the way that the mechanics of it, the way that it works. It's an ignorant plan, and no one's out here bitching about any other network covering true crime or lying about true crime or blah, blah, blah. Even though I do agree there's a lot of grifting in the Watts case, there are a lot of unethical creators, and I think that no matter what the subject is, you should take concern for what creators you support. But that's a whole nother story. Moral of this story is that that's not how copyright works, and it's actually against the terms of service of Facebook to make posts that would dox or encourage someone to fraudulently report, or especially to encourage others to fraudulently report. So the post asking people to report something is an issue in and of itself. Shout out to Janice. I was talking to Janice and I was like, Janice, they're making me have to cover the house. I was just going to update it with the paperwork. What do you think? And she was like, trust your gut. And I was like, yeah, you got it. My gut. I did so because, I think that they are jumping right behind some things that I don't believe in, such as the anti-YouTube BS and encouraging other people to fraudulently report others, as well as she was doxing people. She actually posted someone's name and phone number, and her thinking that she owns a copyright to something that's been shared publicly on Facebook. Well, let me rephrase that. She does own the copyright. You always own the copyright. You literally own the copyright to the thing you created from the moment you created to the moment you die. And then actually your heirs inherit the rights to your copyright for up to 70 something years after your death. So your copyright never goes away. But what happens when you upload something with non-private settings on Facebook is you give them a royalty-free right to reproduce this. Oh my God. It's so crazy that I had to go and make sure that this chick is actually a real estate agent. She is actually registered with the state of Colorado as an active agent. And this, my friend, would be why there is social media clauses at a lot of companies. So you come on as a new hire and agree that if any debacles like this that make the company look bad happen on your social media page and involve the company or anything you do for the company, you will be fired. Prime example. This agent had already disclosed in forms that she was selling a house near the Watts home here recently, and then she disclosed that she was actually the agent helping the new family close on the house. Not even 2 weeks in, it appears that, agent and the new owners are very focused on what the public is saying about them. They claim that the new family had to remove their social media or has deleted their social media for the time being. Purchased for around $400,000 in Firestone, Colorado, just 12 minutes down the road. People found that their original home was somewhat comparable to the Watts home. It's a 4-bedroom, 3-bath, a nice private backyard versus the Watts kind of a not private at all backyard. That on top of the urgency that we see conveyed through the realtor, it makes you wonder what the agenda was and makes you wonder where the hell they get off telling people interested in the house to seek therapy. And where the hell do they get off thinking everyone interested in the Watts case has just been waiting on them to get on Facebook and let us know that, it's time to move on? Now that they saved up their $600,000 so that they could move into the Watts home, nana nana boo boo. Get the fuck out of here. If I'm being totally fair, though, they did rack up on that whole stigmatized land thing. The land is about $200,000. Well, anywhere from like $90,000 to $200,000 less right now. And the only home comparable to the Watts was actually like $80,000 more than Saratoga Trail was. The next one up was like slightly bigger than Saratoga Trail. I couldn't really find anything that was 5-bedroom, 3-bath that was even near 600,000. Well, I mean near it, but like 680, 690,000. Interesting that on number 3, she seems to indicate that since, the Millers live in North Carolina, it's impossible for them to know them. I mean, they live in Colorado. How could a Colorado couple and an NC couple possibly know each other? I mean, obviously that's factually wrong. Oh, wait, it's not? Okay. Anyway, they are not the Millers, they say. And I find it odd that right here, you notice she only mentioned Chris. So she only said he still lives there, not they. And just a little bit more irony for us is that she mentions that everyone is saying her husband will be possessed by something in the home and that there are bad spirits in the Watts home. But, here we actually see the same thing playing out where we haven't actually heard from the dad. And the mom seems to be throwing logs onto the judgment fire while being preoccupied with what strangers on the internet think or how they perceive her. And I don't want to be mean or anything, but maybe she should take her own advice on the therapy, Much like the notoriety of the Watts home, this post just keeps on going and going and going and going. No, seriously, it's long. It's really long. Another little bit of information that we're able to obtain from this agent posting all over the place is that the couple that moved into the home had apparently had a certain sense of urgency to score the house and rented out their home because it didn't buy. She blames this on the market and says the market's bad right now. That's the only reason why they rented their other home out. It's not a plan B, she says. So I guess someone must have said, like, hey, are they keeping their old house, just in case they hate the stigmatized property aspect of living in the Watts home, which apparently they're claiming they do, since they've deleted social media and, written a novel to the public telling the public that we're too interested in the Watts home, even though we weren't really even all that interested until all this shit started popping off. So irony, more irony. I should not be surprised, but I am, because sorry guys, but it's so unhinged. It's so unhinged. And as far as the post being shared and her thinking that she owns a copyright to something that's been shared publicly on Facebook, well, let me rephrase that. She does own the copyright. You always own the copyright. You literally own the copyright to the thing you created from the moment you created to the moment you die, and then actually your heirs inherit the rights to your copyright for up to 70-something years after your death. So your copyright never goes away. But what happens when you upload something with non-private settings on Facebook is you give them a royalty-free right to reproduce this and to show your content however they see fit. So generally with Facebook, that means they're going to show people your post, or people that they think will enjoy your content. They're gonna, try and get those people to see your content. That's generally how they're using it. However, removing that royalty-free permission from Facebook is as easy as deleting the photo. However, that will not remove its royalty-free use while it was on the platform. Therefore, whoever takes a picture or a screenshot can still utilize that photo. It won't affect their rights to use it. So while you still own your copyright, it is not technically infringing upon it for me to use a post that was given to me in its royalty-free format. This is not legal advice, and I am not your paralegal. Insert other various disclaimers. So all is good in the hood as far as sharing that photo goes, Janice. Woo woo. And I guess I'm just going to have to wrap this up with saying that, these guys are super privileged. They were like, thanks for not kicking us when we're down. And wow, I'm like, if you're down as the purchase of your second home, you own not one home, but you have a spare $600,000 home, and your biggest concern is people driving by with looky-loos and saying you look and dress like Shanann. Just throw them the deuces and enjoy life. And I also want to go out on a Mark Twain quote: never miss an opportunity to shut up.